Back in late July, unfortunately, my plans to travel down to Georgia were canceled and changed. Luckily, we had a backup plan. We were planning a nice, fun trip to Cedar Point and Kings Island, but even those would not come to be due to the New York COVID travel restrictions. So instead, we packed our bags and we headed down to Maryland. For the weekend, we visited Six Flags America, and we even had a beach day at Ocean City, which of course meant we had to ride some sketchy boardwalk coasters. So today, let's talk about what you can find on the beach. So there are three major amusement parks located in Ocean City, Maryland. You have Trimper Rides, as well as two separate Jolly Rogers amusement parks. In total, the three parks feature 7 roller coasters, 2 kiddie coasters, a boomerang, and some other unique rides. Starting off at the end of the boardwalk is Trimper Rides. Now, this park is kind of jammed at the end, and it's actually split by a driveway, and it just makes it feel kind of thrown in and a little weird. Now, the big pull here is the Ferris wheel and tidal wave of a Coma boomerang. Now, these clones are seen everywhere else, and there's quite a few actually up and down the East Coast boardwalks. But this clone specifically is a little shaky, it's pretty rough, but you know what? A credit's a credit. The other credit of this park is an SPF spinner coaster named, not surprisingly, Spinning Coaster. Now, these are fun little rides that have some, surprisingly intense moments of actual spinning. And I remember this one having a really overly long cycle, and it went far longer than the kids behind us really wanted. They were crying by the end. But as with any pay-per-ride park, it was a little pricey, and I would say neither ride was really worth spending the money to ride again. Moving down the boardwalk is Jolly Rogers by the Pier. Now, the only coaster here is a Pinfari Zyklon Looping Star. This ride features a single vertical loop and honestly some of the sketchiest feeling turns and dips and trains I've ever ridden on and experienced. It's pretty much a standard portable coaster, and you can also find some fair style flat rides here. Everything's pretty standard. The Ferris wheel itself gives some pretty cool views of the city and a pretty nice view of Trimper Rides. Now, later on in the day, we worked our way down to Jolly Rogers Amusement Park. Now, this is a little further down Ocean City, and it's more of a full-size park. It includes a couple really cool-looking go-kart tracks, a pretty substantial water park structure, and it also has 4 roller coasters. Now, the 2 Jolly Roger parks use the same credit system, so any purchase made at one park works for the other. Besides 2 roller coasters, we didn't really check anything else out of this park. The 2 coasters we didn't ride were Wacky Worm and the Sea Serpent. Both rides are very tame kiddie coasters that were nowhere near paying the money to ride. Now, the first coaster we did ride was Barracuda, an old Zero Flitzer model that operated at Luron for a while, as early as 1972. Now, after a couple of relocations, it ended up here, and honestly, it's a lot of fun. The 2-person sled-style trains are really unique, and they have no restraints, and the cars really fly around the course. The ride consists of a few curved dives, but overall it's just a fun ride, especially for its size. The final and by far the best coaster of the day was Wildcat. Now, many of you may have actually ridden this coaster back when it used to operate at Cedar Point or Valley Fair. This Schwarzkopf is like the standard fair coaster style, but was surprisingly smoother and more enjoyable than I expected. Out of all the major coasters we rode that day, it definitely felt the most sound and put together. The drops gave a nice minuscule floater moment, and it was just cool to ride an old Cedar Point roller coaster. Now, were these rides actually worth the steep prices to ride? Overall, for credit, sure, but when I return to the beachfront, I doubt I'll be itching to hop on any of these rides. Wildcat was by far my favorite of the day, and it really only sits at like 99 of my 115 credits. So in all, if you want to grab the credits, go ahead, but if not, you're really not missing out on anything crazy. So that's going to wrap it up for these 3 little mini park tours. Follow Island Coasters on Instagram for more daily content, and as always, till next time, that's all from the shores of Island Coasters.